The Ultramarines have had a long bloodied history with the Tyranids ever since the Battle of Macragge, and today is no different as the Tyranids continue their hunt for biomass and wreak havoc on the Imperium's forces. Chapter Master Calgar is set to gear up against the Hive Tyrant as Papa Bear Studios presents the Ultramarines versus the Tyranids. Welcome everyone, as Katie and her uniquely painted Tyranids will be taking on Papa Bear's Ultramarines.
The Tyranids are out and they're lurking for some biomass.
Today the Ultramarines are going to go a little monster hunting.
The primary mission today is Linchpin, where your home objective is worth 3 VP and every other objective is worth 5. The mission rule is raise banners, where your battle line units can score 1 additional VP for every objective they control, and the deployment is search and destroy. Make sure you check out our sponsors today, Dragonfall, the charitable gaming convention, and Goblin Games and Hobby, where you can find all your tabletop gaming needs. And when you use my code Goblin Express, all your shipping is free in the continental US. Links in the description below.
Hello everyone, I'm running the Ultramarines today with the new Librarius Conclave Detachment. So I'm bringing some Psychic Might with the Space Marines, as I've got 3 Librarians with the list. Starting off first with a Librarian attached to the 10-man Infernus squad. Now they're going to be hitching a ride in my anti-monster choice, the Repulsor, and my other anti-monster choice, the Redemptor Dreadnought. Next I've got a Librarian attached to a 10-man Hellblaster squad. Why Hellblasters, you may ask? Because I don't have enough Stern Guard to actually make the scary combo work. So you work with what you have, and I've got Hellblasters. Now I did equip this Librarian with the Fusillade enhancement because sustained hits on plasma guns is still pretty good. Next I have a Librarian in Terminator armor leading a 10-man Terminator squad. Now they'll have the celerity enhancement, so they can advance, fall back, and charge. I have all those options. Now my Warlord, Calgar, attached to a 10-man heavy intercessor squad. I usually run Calgar with aggressors, but I literally just want to try something different and see how it goes. I have a 3-man Eradicator squad that'll be in strategic reserves, and I've got an Assault Intercessor squad simply to sit on that home objective. And that is 1985 points of the poster boys.
Hi, I'm Katie Spicer, and I am playing Tyranids today, 2,000 points. The detachment I'm taking is the Grotmas one, the Warrior Bioform Onslaught. So, in today's list, we have a Broodlord who has the enhancement Elevated Might, so that he can advance and charge with his 10 Gene Stealers accompanying him. We have Hive Tyrant, which is our Warlord today, armed with a heavy venom cannon and bone swords, and he is mainly using his aura effect of Onslaught to give people around him assault and lethal hits. We have two groups of 3 Tyranid warriors with melee bioweapons, and then 2 6-man Tyranid warriors with ranged weapons. We also have 3 units of 5 Barbagons, which are going to hopefully slow the enemy infantry and give them -2 to their movement. We have 3 Venom Thropes to hopefully shield us from the incoming las cannons and give everybody a little bit more cover and some stealth for their saves. We also have 1 Exocrine to aid everybody in their shooting by giving them the rerolls of 1, as well as do some blast damage. We have a Male Scepter, which is going to hopefully be doing some good shooting and buff us when we are in combat. A Psychophage for that 6-up Feel No Pain aura. And finally, we have 2 Tyrannofexes with rupture cannons to hopefully take out some big things. Alrighty, thank you, and let's take a look at the battlefield.
All right, everyone, this is our battlefield today. And so, Katie, tell us why you put the Tyranids where you put them.
All right, so we have our core castle here with the Hive Tyrant, giving everybody within 6 inches with his ability Onslaught the ability to have assault on their shooting weapons and lethal hits, so they're going to keep advancing and moving up the board. We have our Broodlord and his Gene Stealers front and center. And within our castle, we have our Psychophage to give everyone within 6 inches a 6-up Feel No Pain. And then we have our Venomthropes here, which will give everybody within 6 inches the benefit of cover, and then non-monsters stealth. So we're just trying to keep everybody all together.
Yes,
In their
lots of
castle.
bodies here. Lots of bodies. And you do have one infiltrate unit here.
Correct. So I got my Von Ryan Leapers over there. They are doing their infiltrate, just kind of holding that objective for now, and just trying to screen out the backfield with these warriors and hiding the big bugs from the last cannons and other wonderful pinky shooty things coming my way.
All right. And then over on my side, I don't have nearly as many things here. My list is actually kind of elite. I've got the tank here so I can come out that way, maybe get a shot. The Redemptor's here so he can peel off this way and maybe get a shot. And then I've got my couple infantry guys and, of course, the assault intercessors holding down my home objective. But that is it. As you can see, this is our board. Lots of Tyranids in the corner. Very few Space Marines in my corner. All right, so now we're going to have our first turn roll off to see who goes first. There it is, a 1 and a 6. So the Tyranids will be taking their first turn, and we'll be back after they've moved. We'll show you the missions. All right, we are here after the Tyranid moving phase. So Katie, tell us your missions and why you put the bugs where you put the bugs.
Alrighty, so my secondary missions were containment and no prisoners. No prisoners is probably going to get pitched for a CP, but containment, we moved this Tyrannifex out, and we had these guys over here, so they're going to be performing those actions to get points for that.
Okay.
Everybody's just kind of scuttling up. I kind of let these guys hang back to screen my back. And I'm going to try and kind of move those guys up the board for now. And of course, I have my lovely distraction in the middle, trying to tie up the ever scary, what are they called?
Repulsor.
Repulsor, and then the guy was with the blue
The
guns.
Hellblasters.
Hellblasters.
Yep.
So I'm trying to take advantage of the Flamers, the Infernus?
Infernus, yeah.
The Infernus being in the tank at the moment. Because getting flamed is not fun. And they don't have a firing deck at the moment, so well worth their points to maybe pins the upcoming sea of guns back. But we're kind of trying to be conservative and just slowly come out as needed.
All right, so Tyranids have moved. We're gonna do some shooting. Do you have any shooting, you think?
Can't shoot, no shooting. I just don't think there's many targets at this point.
All right.
So we're just gonna probably do our Broodlord fun and wait till something comes out into the middle.
All right, so we'll be back after some Broodlord fun. So the Broodlord has come crashing into both my Hellblasters and the Repulsor. They made their charge, and we have 8 Gene Stealers into the Hellblasters and the Broodlord. So 8 Gene Stealers in the Broodlord and the Hellblasters. All the other Gene Stealers will go into the Repulsor, but the Hellblaster is the main target. I may have grossly underestimated how fast the Gene Stealers are. Now, There was a strat used. What strat did we use here?
It is called something new. I used the synaptic amplification strat, just on the Tyranid unit, not the warrior buff, but it will give them allow them to re-roll wound rolls of 1 each time those models make an attack.
All right. So they got a reroll wound roll of 1. They also reroll hit rolls of 1, and they are coming at me with 32 attacks.
Yep.
So here we go. All right, so here's the aftermath of the fight. I lost 8 Hell Blasters, and my Repulsor just took 1 damage from Gene Stealer melee. But that's okay, because Katie does not get no prisoners, because no unit was destroyed. So I can live with that result. Now, I was looking for my Hell Blasters to do some work, but the Gene Stealers, with their scout and their big charge, they able to cut me down pretty good.
Ooh, got some Hell Blasters for breakfast. Yes.
All right, we'll be back with the Space Marine response. Ultramarines turn 1. So the discipline I picked was telekinesis, and that gives ranged shooting a -1 strength. Now, you picked that at the beginning of the round, so just letting everybody know, that was the one I picked at the beginning of the round. So I'm at the -1 in shooting. So the Gene Stealers here, I fell back with the Hell Blasters and the Repulsor. Before I fell back, my Infernus squad disembarked to try to whittle down these Gene Stealers. Gene Stealers are also my Oath of Moment target. Now, the reroll hits doesn't matter for the Infernus, but they do get the +1 to wound, which does matter because I want to get rid of these Gene Stealers as fast as possible. Calgar and the Heavy Intercessors moved up. We are now holding that objective, at least for now, and they do have some shots on these big scary monsters here. And the Redemptor is also poking his head around with his sights on these monsters as well. I drew Recover Assets and Cull the Horde. The Gene Stealers are also a Horde unit, so that's going to be big for the objective. And then I do have, as far as units recovering the assets, I've got, my guys here. And that is an action, so it's going to have to be the Heavy Intercessors here. So they won't be doing any shooting because they're going to be recovering assets. It's only 3 points. I'm not sure it's worth sacrificing the shooting for 3 points, but we're gonna find out. I'm gonna take the points. I'm gonna take the points for now. We are gonna go into the shooting phase when we come back.
What are we doing?
All right, the Infernus Marines are going to put all their fire might into the Gene Stealers. That is 10 D6 flamer shots.
Oh.
There it is. There. Yep. Terrible. Okay, 22 shots. They are wounding on 2s because of Oath of Moment, which is nice.
All right, 5 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 guys dead and a wound on 1.
Okay. Now the Librarian is going to focus which fire? This D6 attacks. For 4. And then hitting on 3s. And can re-roll these hits because of Oath. Okay. So those all hit.
Yep.
And Strength 6, so wounding on 2s.
Yep. Or Strength 6, their toughness 4.
But Oath, so I get the +1 to wound. Yep.
Yep.
All right. Only the Brood Lord remains after the Infernus shooting. I'm taking the points here, so they're doing an action. They're not going to shoot. We're going to see if the Redemptor can do any damage to these scary monsters here. What are these called?
Tyrannifex.
The Tyranids.
Or is that's the one with the big gun?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tyranids.
All right. So after some shooting, the Redemptor did absolutely nothing to the Tyranids. And I did charge my Infernus Marines into the Brood Lord here. He's got Brood Lord. Okay, so he's got 6 wounds left, and we're gonna start with the Librarian. Now he did, what was this move called?
Hypnotic Gaze.
Hypnotic Gaze. So I get 1 less attack with my melee units. So the Librarian is going to do his force weapon. That is 3 attacks now. And that is, well, they all hit. So that's a good start. And wounding on 3s, but 2s because of Oath.
Okay.
So that's 3 wounds at -1.
Alright, he's going to take his 4 of invuln save and fail them.
Failed them all. That is D3 damage each. So we have a chance to take him out. Let's see. First D3. 2. 1. And for 2. So he's got 1 wound remaining.
Alright.
Now I've got 10 Infernus Marines going right into the Brood Lord, trying to take 1 wound off. And we'll see if that happens. The Brood Lord has fallen to the Infernus melee. Thank goodness. So no more Gene Stealers, but smart play because I one-hit my Infernus Marines in the tank, moving up, and now they're back here. So I have to spend a turn putting them back in the tank to then move up, which is not what I wanted to do. Now, recover assets. I have to survive until the end of Katie's turn. And now I'm rethinking if this is even worth it because it's just 3 points. But we're going to find out if it is worth it. The Marines have nothing else left to do, and we're going to come back with the Tyranid response for Tyranids, turn 2. Tyranids have returned for turn number 2. And Katie, tell us about your missions and why you moved where you moved.
Alrighty, I got the lucky draw. I got engage on all fronts and extend battle lines, 2 that I think are pretty doable. So for reserves, since we're right here, I dropped these guys to try and combat the teleport homer and kind of push them back.
Yep.
And then I dropped some warriors over there to do some warriors fun
here.
Stuff. The Tyranids remained stationary for their heavy weapons. Male Scepter came up to just shoot some, and then the Execrane came up as well. We used the Hive Tyrants Onslaught to give these guys assault, so they're going to be moving up and shooting, and that's pretty much it. Kept the castle together.
Yep. And I rapid ingressed in here with my Terminators with these... with the Librarian and Terminator armor, just to give these warriors something to think about. And the library discipline I picked for my turn is Divination. That gives me a reroll of hit and wound roll of 1. I said that weird. I can hit and I can reroll hit and wound rolls of 1. That's what divination does. Oh, mouthful, but I spit it out. So, we've all done our moving. We're going to be back with some shooting, and we're going to see how the Tyranids are going to cut down my Ultramarines.
Alrighty, so we got our 2 Tyranids shooting their Rupture Cannon into the Redemptor Dreadnought.
Okay.
They remain stationary, so they have heavy weapons that are going from a 3 to a 2. So 2s.
Oh, wow.
Oh, there's that one. Oh, CP reroll. We did it!
Yeah, there it is.
Alright, these are strength 18.
3s to wound.
We did it!
Okay.
AP -4, and they're D6 plus 6 damage.
My God. D6
Oh.
plus 6.
They got a buff.
All right, so the Redemptor is in cover, so I need 5s to save this. And Oh my goodness. Oh, I didn't save a single one. Even if I re-rolled it, okay. Not that he's by anything, but does he explode? There's the 5 I needed. He does not explode. I mean, man, Tyrannifex just took out the Redemptor. Okay, there it is. The Redemptor didn't even get a chance to do anything, and he's already off the table. Did not see that coming. We have returned from all of the Tyranid shooting, and I lost 3 heavy intercessors there. I lost 3 Infernus Marines there. And of course, the Redemptor went down. Terminators are still standing strong, and there will be no charges from the Tyranids. We're going to score this up, and we'll be back for the Ultramarines, turn 2. The Ultramarines, turn 2. As a reminder, my library discipline is Divination, where I can, for hit rolls and wound rolls, I can re-roll 1s. Now, I got that straight. So, here's what we did for moving. My Hellblasters and my Infernus Marines got in the tank, and we moved up here. So, they're in the tank, they moved up. My Terminators have moved up to put myself on this objective. My heavy intercessors have all moved up just so every model can be on the objective here. My missions this turn is secure no man's land and storm hostile objective. I have no hostile objective to storm because the only one that the Tyranids were holding was this one here, and I am in no way going to get there. Partly because I am a -2 to move and to charge because of the barb gots. Yes. So right now they're moving at 3 inches, so they're not going anywhere. They have to try to just stay strong here. That is the moving. There was no... I did not bring in my Eradicators. I will wait till the next turn to see where they're needed most and bring them in. We'll be back after some shooting from the Ultramarines. Ultramarines have done some shooting, and we haven't really done much of anything. The tank shot into the Mail Scepter, did nothing. And my heavy intercessors took out a couple of Barbies.
Yep.
And
4. Yep.
Oh yeah, 4 Barbies there. Yep. And then I took out a warrior here. But now I'm going to put all these Terminators into the warriors here. Now here is the interesting, well, hopefully interesting combination. So a Librarian and Terminator gives that unit sustained hits 1. I'm going to pop a CP called Prescient Precision to give that unit lethal hits, and I get ignores cover because I'm in the Divination Discipline. Okay, so as of right now, this unit has lethal hits, sustain 1, ignores cover, and they're my Oath of Moment targets, so I can re-roll a hit roll and have a +1 to wound. So if the Warriors survive all of that, I'm just going to quit this match right now. So after all that, I took out 2 Warriors. Not great. But they're still Oath, and I still have a charge phase. So all hope is not lost to take these Warriors out. That is it for my shooting. We're going to come back and see if I actually made this charge. And hopefully the Terminators can take out these Warriors. Terminators have made their charge. And we've got 27 attacks going into the Warriors. Alright, Terminators have taken down the Warriors. I have nothing else to do in my turn.
Alrighty.
So the Tyranids will return for turn 3, and we'll see how they respond to the Ultramarines. Welcome back, as Tyranids have taken the stage for turn 3. So, Katie, tell us what is happening.
Alrighty, so we moved up the Barbagants, moved the Hive Tyrant in to get some action. Scooted over a little Tyrannifex so he could get a line of sight. We are moving up the Von Ryans now that the Warriors are on the objective, and just kind of trying to push our way down the battlefield.
And what are your missions?
Missions are secure no man's land and establish locusts. So I have one unit of Barbagods that aren't battle shocked, establishing that locust, so they will not be able to shoot.
These guys here?
Yep.
And then secure no man's land, basically, if you're able to take me off. Is that where you got to kill a unit?
Yeah, so I need to, not kill, but control 2 objectives.
Gotcha.
Objective markers in no man's land. Yep.
So a lot riding on the middle objective here. My library discipline is pyromancy. So that gives me a AP characteristic of 1, a +1, as long as I shoot within 12. That won't apply until my turn, which I'm hoping to have. But I've got Tyrannifex who are lined up to shoot at my tank. And you saw what they did to the Redemptors, so we'll see what they do to the tank. But we will come back for the Tyranid shooting phase. We're going to start off the Tyranid shooting with the Tyrannifex, both of them, putting everything into my poor tank here. My tank is in cover, so that's a plus. And I'm going to Armor of Contempt, which minuses the characteristic AP of an attack. Now, it only goes on effect on one unit because it got nerfed. So, here you're going to have to pick a Tyrannifex you're going to shoot first, because the Armor of Contempt would only go on that Tyrannifex.
We will shoot the one that moved because it will not get the heavy hit.
Okay, sounds good. Alright, so here we go. The first Tyrannifex attack.
So 3 up. Got them both. 1 wound.
1 wound. Save it on a 5. And I am safe so far.
Woo!
So far. But I have a whole nother Tyrannifex to go through here.
So, ballistic skill. Oh my goodness. Okay. 2.
You do have a reroll. How dead do you want the tank?
I really do want it.
Okay.
So, that's last CP there.
Yep.
Yay!
Okay, so it was worth it.
Alright. 3 is to wound. Okay.
Oh boy. And I need 2 5s to keep this tank alive. Actually, I only need 1 save. If I save 1, the tank lives. Oh my god. So I'm going to spend the CP and re-roll. I'm going to re-roll my save. I need a 5. Okay, so I'm taking at least 12 damage.
Alright, rolling.
I need you to roll a couple 1s here.
Woo!
Okay. Does he explode, though? He does not explode. So, the tank put up a valiant effort, but he goes bye-bye, and my Psychers and Infernus and Hellblasters are going to hop out after they take their test, and we'll see how many people pop out of this thing. Lots of things going on. My tank exploded. The Hellblasters and Infernus Marines popped out. And then after that, we went into some shooting where I lost every single heavy intercessor and my 2 Victrix honor guards. Only Calgar remains, and the male scepter has charged into Calgar to try to get him off. And the warriors have charged into my Infernus Marines to try to get rid of them. Now they charged. I overwatched and popped 2 of them, so that's why there's only 4 here. Now I said the center will be important because of secure no man's land and establish locus. So if Calgar goes, then those 2 objectives are pretty much
in the bag, and he's only got 4 wounds remaining against the male scepter. So we'll see how this fight goes. There was no other shooting of consequence, and we'll return to see the aftermath of all this fighting. Now, all the fighting is done. Calgar is alive, but the middle objective has been lost, and we will be back to see if the Ultramarines can climb out of this mess that they're in. Still a lot of bugs left on the table, and not many Marines left on the table. We'll see what they do. Marines, turn 3. Ultramarines, turn 3. If you notice, the score has not changed from the last time you saw it, because what did you do to me, Katie?
I did Shadow of the Warp.
Shadow of the Warp. What is Shadow of the Warp?
So once per game, in any command phase, you can use the Shadow of the Warp to require every unit to take a battle shock test. And if they're within synapse, they get -1 to that test. Well, we had some pretty unfortunate rolls on Chris's.
Very unfortunate indeed. So I failed my battle shock here, so no points there. I failed my battle shock here, no points there. He passed his battle shock, but they failed, and also they failed. Every unit failed battle shock except for Calgar. The other problem with that is that I cannot use stratagems for any unit except Calgar. Now, I did drop in my Eradicators to maybe pop this guy off here. So they're the only unit that I can use stratagems for because they have not failed a battle shock. But that move was devastating. I have not scored any primary at all this turn, and now I am in a uphill climb to try to come back. What are the odds that every single battle shock will fail? I guess pretty high.
It usually never works, but when it does work, it does. Yes.
Now I've done moving. The Infernus Marines have fallen back to leave these guys open. They are my Oath of Moment target. I'll explain why. The Hellblaster and Librarian have moved over so they can look at these targets here. The Terminators have just moved up because they're not holding that objective anymore. So the plan is to not shoot these warriors at all. It's just to make this 6-inch charge into the warriors so I can then push forward into this objective and try to hold it for turn 4. Hopefully. My missions are Overwhelming Force and Containment. So the Eradicators are going to be containing there. That's an action, so they cannot shoot, but they are at the battlefield edge. So they contain there. And that's the other problem with the Shadow Warp. I can't do actions battle shocked, so I had no choice but to put the Eradicators there to contain. But Overwhelming Force is just remove units off an objective, and that's what I'm going to try to do with some of the Barbies here. At least one of these units, hopefully, I can get rid of. This single Barbie, I'm going to try to take him off so I can get some Overwhelming Force. That's my game plan. I have been Shadow Warped?
Shadow of the Warp.
I've been Shadow Warped to the point where I am I'm just way behind. So we'll see how I can climb out. We'll be back after some Ultramarine shooting. Ultramarines have returned, and not too bad so far. So to give you an update, I was able to shoot the Barbies off the objective. That was 2 units, so I will get Overwhelming Force for those. The Terminators shot them down. I did lose a Hellblaster to a hazard check, so only the Librarian is left from that Hellblaster unit. But as you can see, he made his charge against the male scepter, which is great. Terminators made their charge against these warriors here, which is what I was looking to do. And if I don't roll the worst rolls in history, I should be able to get some Terminators on this objective. And
try to hang on and score some points. My Eradicators are containing there. I did score for overwhelming force. And we're going to be back with some Ultramarines melee. See if I can make a game of this thing. Now, not too bad for the old Ultramarines. I was able to get rid of the Warriors. I was able to come onto this objective. Calgar and the Librarian survived the male scepter attack. Now, it didn't do any damage to him, but he didn't do any damage to us. So we're in a stalemate here. I will take it. So as of right now, I'm controlling the center objective, but my turn is over. I will score containment, and I will score the maximum for overwhelming force. So the Ultramarines are not out of this thing quite yet, but we still have a hill to climb. And we will go to the Tyranids, who still got plenty of big guns left. Turn 4. So Tyranids, turn 4. So Katie, what were your missions and why'd you move where you moved?
Alrighty, so for missions I drew Cull the Horde and Sabotage. Sabotage, I moved the Von Ryans up to sabotage that terrain unit.
Yep.
Cull the Horde, I think our best bet is to probably go for these guys.
The Infernus Marines.
And then, yeah, we're not getting those Terminators, but we will ignore them. Very
I mean, that's
nicely.
fair.
So yeah, that's about it. We moved these guys to kind of take care of this, and we're just kind of staying put until we have a better plan.
Sounds good, and we'll be back when we figure out what that plan is. Oh, before we leave, because we're round 4, so my psychic discipline is telekinesis. So ranged weapons have a -1 strength against my psyker units. So I'm in telekinesis right now, and we'll be back. We are back, and we have done just about some of everything. Calgar is gone. We are in a stalemate here with this fight there. And I did lose my Infernus Marines. They are gone. So you will score Cull the Horde. And then for Sabotage, we won't know about that until the end of my turn. The male scepter has been taken down to 6 wounds. And that was pretty much it. You did sticky this objective back here, so you're still holding it. And that was for CP.
Mm-hmm.
That's for CP, so still holding the objective there. And I lost 3 Terminators in the middle. But all hope is not lost. I am down big on points right now. But we'll see what the cards have in store, and we'll be back to see if the Ultramarines can do something for their turn. Turn 4 for the Ultramarines, and we have already done some moving. I drew established locus and behind enemy lines. My Terminators will be establishing my locus. My Eradicator is behind enemy lines, and I did lose 2 Eradicators that last round, so sorry about that, but I did lose 2. I've got 1 left, and he is behind enemy lines. The Termies are establishing the locus, and to prevent the Tyranids sabotage, I have left my home objective and has engaged into these Von Ryan Leapers. Now, because they're engaged, they cannot score sabotage, and that also made them my Oath of Moment target, so I can just try to get rid of them completely. Now, they do have fights first, but I am going to get stuck in and try to be in a dogfight here. It's always a risk leaving the home objective, but at this late in the game, I've got no choice. I've got to try to stop these Tyranids from scoring these points. So that's all I can do. Terminators can't shoot because they're doing an action. And we are going to go right into the charge I did make, which is into these Von Ryan Leapers. And we'll see how this all shakes out. All right, so I took out 2 Von Ryan Leapers. The Male Scepter and Librarian are still stuck in. Male Scepter is down to 3. The Librarian is down to 2. But I will be scoring my established locus and behind enemy lines, so climbing back a little bit, but still down, as the Tyranids are going to enter their final turn. This will be it for them. So we'll see what they do for Tyranids, final turn 5. Tyranids, turn 5. So Katie, what are your final missions?
Final missions are area denial, YOLO to the middle,
Yep.
and behind enemy lines. And we had the Von Ryan being brave Sir
Fell back.
and run away. Yep. So we're just gonna try and keep some Terminators.
The Terminators all have to die to get area denial.
3 Terminators fall, but 4 Terminators remain, and that's huge because that does deny the Tyranids area denial at the end of the shooting and melee phase. So the Terminators hold strong, but she will get behind enemy lines as that lone Von Ryan Leaper has remained behind my line, so I cannot stop that. So that will be 3 points for behind enemy lines. And that will be the final act of Tyranids turn 5, leaving Katie with a final score of 71. And we'll see how the Ultramarines can try to figure out a win from the jaws of defeat.
Ah, they're alive. We're still in the game. It's not over yet. Oh, dodged a bullet.
So we are at the last turn for the Ultramarines. I drew no prisoners and extend battle lines. So the mission is clear. I have to kill things in the center. And I have to take out this last Von Ryan Leaper. I take this Leaper out. I get on the home objective. I control this objective. That's 8 points. And then if I can get no prisoners, if I can max out no prisoners and extend battle lines, that's 10 points. And that will put me in the lead by 1 point at the end of the game. But a lot of things have to happen correctly first. So we are going to, we're going to charge into these guys. Well, we're going to charge into the Von Ryan Leapers. And that should take him out. And then we're going to try to clear as much as we can in the center here and get control of this objective. And we'll be back to see what's going to happen. All right, so the Male Scepter has fallen. And I made the charge here, so I'm holding this objective. The next step is to hold this objective. I have to get rid of the Psychophage to do so. And I'm about to attack right now. Now, Psychophage has 10 wounds, so it's not going to be easy. But he's my Oath of Moment target. I use Prescient Precision, so I have lethal, sustained. Well, there's no cover involved, but a +1 to wound because of Oath of Moment. And we're going to see if I can take down this Psychophage right now. The Librarian's up first. 4 attacks. Alright, so wounding on 5s, but 4s because of Oath of Moment.
I saved 2, take 1.
Just takes 1. Not looking good here. Okay. Power Fist, 6 attacks. Lethal, sustained. Wounding on 5s, but 4s because of Oath of Moment.
I saved 2.
So you take 8.
And he's at 1.
And he's at 1. He lives. He lives. Okay. So I do not control this objective because the Psychophage has lived. And the Ultramarines will ultimately fall this day. So close, and yet so far.
Alrighty, so initial thoughts on the Grotmas Warrior Detachment. So while it really does beef up your warriors, I had to bring every warrior I owned, which was like 18, and I feel like it's harder to splash because half of your stratagems just go to warriors. So while they get better, if you don't have enough to field a big battlefield of warriors, it kind of puts you at a loss where you're splashing something and not quite getting the full benefit.